and my emotional damage. Oh, recording. Hi.
It's fine. Google does that every time. How do I podcast? It's been a long day. been walking the woods too much. Last night when I was finishing up my shift and I was, it was getting dark and I was in a neighborhood where I was practically in the woods. I'm like, okay, it was like half hour left of my shift. I'm like, okay, I'm a big girl. I can do this. I got my lights on. I got my lantern. I'm like, I've been in this neighborhood before. I know where I'm going. Let's do this. And then, like, not in the too far distance, I heard a gunshot and animal screaming. I turned around. I'm like, fuck this. I don't got this. I'm going home. Hello, everyone, and we are back to talk about the Catching Fire movie, and we've almost got the full crew. Only Lily couldn't make it today, but we have Gabby, Sarah, and Patrick. Woo!
Hi, guys!
Yep.
And hi, guys. We're back.
Woo!
Back, baby!
Yeah, Lily unfortunately couldn't make it. She is stuck on a train right now trying to leave Boston because she was visiting a friend, but she sends her love, guys. And of course...
Let's do Lily!
And of course, the jingle that plays at the beginning of the episode she wrote. So she's with us here in spirit. Yep. So
and we love her.
Yep. So before we kind of get into it, I figured the best way to kind of break this up, because I know based on how last time we talked for a very long time. So we're gonna record everything at once, but we'll spend like the first, I don't know, hour, however long it takes, talking about all the parts in the movie leading up to the quarter quell, and then pause, and then we'll talk about everything that happens in the arena in like part 2. Then we can wrap up all our thoughts and everything there. I don't know. This is me trying to be somewhat organized because we had no organization last time whatsoever.
But I mean, we got through it. It's fine.
Yes.
All the points we talked about. It's great. It's a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to revel in the chaos of it all.
Exactly. I mean, everything's chaos. We live in chaos. We thrive with chaos. It's great. Who likes
Anyway, okay, general thoughts. Sarah, what are your general thoughts on the movie?
This is the one that really got me invested. Because remember, I was watching these mostly against my will. Like, you're in the same room with me and I'm gonna watch this, therefore you can either find something else to do or I don't know what to tell you.
Well, what do you think it was about this movie that made you go, huh?
Chaos.
Yeah, lots of shit happens in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. Patrick, you're done with your chilies?
I am. Thank you for letting me know.
Delicious?
It was very delicious. I enjoyed it.
God here in this chilies?
So now we're talking about The Office. No,
someone had to make the joke. It was right there.
I was waiting for the opportune moment.
Yeah.
We saw it, we grabbed it.
No, it's funny you say that we're splitting it up into 2 parts, because that's kind of how I see the movie itself, because like they're kind of 2 different movies if you think about it. The first half is basically a really fascinating study on someone's traumatic experience of going through something like the Hunger Games, and how not only Katniss, how she deals with it, but also like how everybody else around her deal with it and deal with the change that is going to happen. And I find that part like to be so fascinating and brilliantly done. I think not even just on a writing level, but also on a film level. Like cinematography is such a step up from the first one. Like even when they get into the games, like that's where I'm like, man, they really did a great job of finding, a different location, and trying to put them in very more perilous situations, which I really appreciated.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the first half, I really love the first half of the film so much. I think it actually, in my opinion, might be the best part of the Hunger Games franchise as a whole for me. I just think it's just such a great stretch that deals with these ideas of what happens when somebody starts a change and how it continues to spark. It's like how Snow said in the first one, where it's like, it's a what? How do you make a winner?
Little hope is effective. A lot is
Yeah,
spark is fine as long as it's contained.
Contained, but we're starting to
times.
Yeah, and we're starting to realize it's not really contained as much as it should. So I love that first half. I think the first half is great. And I think the second half is interesting because I don't think it's a bad second half. I think it's still, relatively entertaining, and you kind of get to see like, oh, this is like an updated version of the games, and it's really cool. I will say the second half felt more like an updated first Hunger Games, if that makes sense. Like, because it feels like it's like, okay, now we're going through the tributes. Like, I volunteer as tribute. Just, obviously a little different. And then we're meeting the new characters, and then we're getting into the games, and then we're, trying to find allies and support. And again, like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of like, the first half is like so like different from like how the first movie is delving, and I felt like it was like furthering the story along. And I just felt like the second half was kind of like, oh, it's a nice update, and I feel like it's still furthering the story, but it's not in a way that's like the first half, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's kind of.
I mean, in the book, because you've only read the first book, right, Patrick?
I've only read the first book, yeah. So I'm going in like, you guys have fun with the books.
Yeah,
like,
no,
I'm just like, I'm here for the entertainment.
I know, listen, we got all the different perspectives. We got the
Yeah.
two people who have read the books and the two people who have only seen the movie, so it makes it interesting conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure.
What's interesting is that in the book, because in the movie, it's like you're in the arena for like half the time or almost half the movie, right? Or if that's what it's like.
Yeah, like that's for me like where the second half of the film.
Yeah, but in the book, you spend 2/3 of the book not in the games. Like, it isn't until like the last third of the book that you're finally in the arena again. It's like all of part 3.
Oh wow! Okay.
Part 1 is like, all the is mostly the victory tour. Part 2 is like, because there's more stuff happening in 12 in between the announcement of the quarter quell and actually getting to the reaping, and then you go through the training sequence again, you meet all the victors, and then part 2 ends right before part 2 ends right as Katniss is like in the tube ready to go in, and then sees Cinna get the life beat out of him. So
interesting. Well,
and then she goes up into the and then it's like, okay, you just watched one of your favorite people in the world get beat up and probably gonna die. Okay, time to go back into the games. No time to process that.
I mean, it does get you into a murderous kind of like mindset, so I get it. It helps for entertainment, but I mean, damn.
I know. Like, what a cold move from Snow. It's like, because they know because I mean, Cinna knew he was a dead man walking as soon as like the dress changed, but it's like no. Snow's like, I'm gonna make this as cruel as possible.
Yeah, no, and I felt so sad when Cinna died, like, because it's almost. That's why I really appreciate like the update in the second movie, because even though it's still most of the same, there's just that little difference where it's like, oh, so Cinna is like dead. It's like, oh, now it's getting real.
Yeah. It's like he's a comfort. But anyway, Gabby, you and I obviously last episode. Ross Gay incites joy in his new book. I don't want to know right now. Email.
Yeah, if you hear in the background like a weird kind of like beep, kind of like
that was me getting mail.
Yeah, no. Before that, okay, no, it got quiet. Okay, that is my mom's parrot.
Oh.
Likes to scream. And he decided to start imitating sounds like the fire alarm, or how the car is like beeping when they're like going backwards.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he does most of the day, and it's hella annoying, but we love it. His name's Coto, as in cotorro, as in like birdie, but I mean, like, so if you hear that, ignore him. He's there. He's screaming. He's like, life.
It's all good. Everyone's getting a very minimal edited version of us guys. Anyway, Gabby, what are you and I obviously last episode, which hasn't come out yet at the time of this recording, because we're recording on the 29th. This episode will come out in a couple weeks. But anyway, so last time you and I talked about the book, of course, and what are your general thoughts on the movie?
I have to agree with Patrick about saying like the first half is actually the better half of the movie, because I'm gonna be the devil's advocate in here. Okay, I'm the weird one. Even though I do like the second movie, I felt very let down by the arena, because we get this new characters, interesting characters, great characters that we know are murderers, and there are murderers. Like murderers and are murderers and their previous victors. So what we're looking for, or what we're expecting, is to see pretty much slightly the carnage that we saw slightly in like shaky camera movements in the first movie, especially in Cornucopia. And in this one, I was expecting to see the abilities, the physical abilities that each of the victors had and what made them victors, and see them actually going, sorry for cursing, but oh shit.
Yeah. I say this all the time on this podcast. There's a reason my grandmother doesn't listen, so feel free to say whatever you want.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
But I mean, I was expecting to see the carnage, not only the carnage, but the abilities and the grandeur of each of the victors.
Yeah.
And we didn't actually get that. We didn't. I think they decided to submerge a lot more into the technological part of this new arena and the new kind of like different monsters by the different hours, that I thought that was genius, and how like the cinematography of the arena looked beautiful. If I didn't know that was an arena, I was like, I wanna have a little vacation there. God no. You know what I mean?
want to pet the baboons.
Exactly. It's like Big View, it's gorgeous. However, I was expecting to see a lot more of the other tributes, because in the book they're slightly more there. You can feel slightly more the tension of the other tributes are gonna come, because they're coming, and whereas in the movie is a lot more of us like, what is the next hour's threat going to be?
True.
And I was expecting more like the carnage. I'm sorry. I wanted this action-filled movie that was, it was like, because that arena was the preview to what the war was going to look like. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So who was with the capital, who was against it, and pretty much the lines drawn, and who is fighting for what, and their abilities and stuff. We didn't get that. And I'm sorry to say this, but the costumes, they were gray. They look slightly, almost. Okay, it reminded me of the Power Rangers. I did
not Power Rangers.
They do kind of look like the Power Rangers a little bit.
I mean, they still look better. I think at least in that setting, they look better than the more book accurate ones. Because I think in the book it was like a navy blue type of suit.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and that's what I was gonna ask. I was like, is it? Are they like?
No, the outfit's not book accurate, but I understand, because it, I don't know, looks good with the aesthetic of the setting they had on screen. So I get it, but it's still, I wouldn't want to wear it. It wouldn't be my Halloween costume.
And this time, I don't know if it was only me, but the arena looked a lot smaller. A lot smaller.
Oh no, it did. Even in the book, it talks about how the arena is smaller, because you realize like how in the book it was like only like 3 or 4 days the games lasted. In the movie, it felt like it was only like 2 days, and the idea was maybe the capital like wanted these games to end faster, because they knew how unpopular the games were, because these were all like former victors, they're capital favorites, they're like celebrities, and also because there were people in that arena that Snow was like, I wanted to get rid of, so they wanted the games to end faster, I think.
I know, but at the same time, because of the smaller like proportion of, or the smaller scale of the arena, I would have expected as a, I get the book, but this is like the movie version. I would have expected the movie version because of like smaller space, deadly victors. I would have liked to see more about the decease, like the deaths, or how each of the different victors perished, because we did get a very strong introduction slightly to each and one of them, and like a quick like one comment or two about how they won, especially with Enobaria, who had filed down her like teeth. I was expecting to, I wanted to see her, I'm sorry, but her badassness.
I know.
And the real threat of it. Even if with Joanna, I wanted to see her fight. I wanted to see her a lot more than just saving Katniss, but almost a victor in her own right. And I think I do believe that the first half of the movie just like introduced us into this great promise of Carter Quell. Sorry, shit's gonna go down. This is going to be a bloodbath, and it never truly really came. It just was like they were dying off camera, and you would hear the random like cannon, and like pick them up, and I was like, no, wait, it's like, where are my victors? They are trained assassins. They won. I won. I mean,
that's
like a snapshot of whatever they were doing to add to the tension, because yes, we got this great gorgeous scenes, romantic scenes with the pearl and the gorgeous beach, and I was like, you are in an arena fighting for your lives. Where is the fighting part, and where
is the tension?
Life is in peril part of it.
Where's the danger?
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of the problem with having the movie PG-13. I mean, I understand why they have to sell it to a mass audience, but I mean, I think that tension and danger probably would have been pushed to another level if it was rated R. But like, I don't know how you would market it.
Petition now for HBO Max to reboot the Hunger Games into a miniseries so it can be.
You know.
And I want to play Madge, the character cut from the movie. If it's a TV series, there's room to have her in there.
Yeah, and also like, tell me, Alyson, what is your take on the second movie?
Oh, the second movie. I mean, it is one of I think one of the best book to movie adaptations ever made, and it was also really well paced too. I noticed this time watching it around, it's like dang, I feel like we didn't rush through anything, but it's 40 minutes into the movie is when the Quell's announced, and then not long after that we're back in the Capitol and the game starts. But I feel like it didn't rush through. And the movie's also just beautiful to look at, because that first shot of Katniss just kneeling by the lake, sunrise in the background, it's gorgeous. And the scene, and pretty much all the scenes on the beach during movie magic hour, gosh dang, Francis Lawrence, thank you for giving me this.
It's the Steven Spielberg hour, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, production value.
But anyway, so we'll talk more about the Quell in part 2 and in details. But first let's rewind and talk more about in the beginning, because everything going on District 12 and then the Victory Tour and all that good stuff. So the first glimpse that what I love so much about the opening of the movie is just how right away we're brought into Katniss's state of she's not okay.
Yeah, which I really appreciated, because normally with sequels to big budget franchises, you always get oh, so this is where they are right now, and it's just kind of oh, they're doing okay, but then there's a conflict comes in. No, the conflict starts immediately, as soon as she shoots the first arrow at the turkey, and then all of a sudden she sees a vision of the guy she killed in the first
Marvel
games, and it's oh man, it's just
we're still here.
Sarah, did you have something to say?
It's very much, we're still here. We're still right in the middle of the caused by the Hunger Games.
Because like in the first movie, we're introduced to the idea of the games. The Capitol is excited about it, and before the reaping starts, we see the propaganda video, and it's like the victor gets bathed in riches and lives in glory, and basically feeds you this narrative of the victor gets to skip happily ever after into the sunset, but right away it's like, oh no, PTSD is hell, and you're not okay after going through that.
Well, also to keep in mind as well, like Katniss was the first ever volunteer for the Hunger Games. So
in 12.
Oh, I'm sorry, in 12. Yeah. Wait, has there been more volunteers?
Careers. They specifically trained to volunteer.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. See, this is why I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are here.
What
do I know? I'm just a movie nerd. It's fine. But no, one thing I do appreciate is that it did get into like the feelings of someone who did volunteer just to save her sister, and like just like the effects that it has like afterwards, because it's like, because if she just stayed in like District 12 and let Prim take the mantle, it's just kind of like, well,
Prim will be dead.
dead.
Yeah.
I mean, she did ended up dead.
Hey,
no,
we're not there yet.
Nope. No.
Get there when we get there, and I will have a wine when we get there.
Fine, we will get there when we get there, but still.
And I will have a bottle of wine when we get there. Diana will be full of wine instead of water. For those of you who can't see, guys, Diana is my water bottle, and she is half a gallon, so keep that in mind.
Oh, jeez.
Bookish babbles after dark.
Dark, guys.
Listen, there's a reason when I put these episodes out, I mark it as explicit. Not only because I curse like a sailor. I mean, that's mostly because of it. But
did she just say I? She did.
Yep. But anyway, so yeah, we're introduced to Katniss. She's clearly not in a good place. And what did y'all think of Gale just impulsively kissing her like that?
I wanted to punch him.
Response.
Are you talking about like the first time?
Yeah, the first time at the beginning.
Before she left for the tour, right? Like,
yeah, when she's getting ready to leave, and Gale's being all like, and she's like, "Aren't you to come say goodbye?" And she's like, "I don't think you want me there. There are plenty of people saying goodbye to you." And it's like, Gale, it was an act. I was trying to survive. You didn't.
Yeah.
And then she's just saying, and then as she's giving that explanation, like, "We're doing this again." And Gale, I told you it was an act, blah blah blah. And then he just kisses her, and it's like, what in that exchange said to you, "Hey, I should kiss you now"?
No, not only that, like, what in that exchange did he ever hear her say anything regarding yes, like she was justifying what she did, but she never said, "Oh, it's because of you."
True.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She could have had a crush on someone else. She could have had a crush on Haymitch. What do we know?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like half of the world, literally.
Sarah, are you still alive?
I'm here. I was remembering. I'm having like violent Jacob Black flashbacks.
No.
We're not talking about Twilight yet.
Say that for the Twilight.
No,
but that means I have to rewatch them again. No.
And it's important to say that it was not because of Liam Hemsworth's portrayal of Gale. Hemsworth is a great actor. He did a wonderful job. It's just that Gale is such a whiny little bitch.
Tell us how you really feel. We all hate it.
Like how I really feel.
Oh boy.
Buckle up.
I mean, one of the things I am looking forward to in Mockingjay is ripping into Gale even more.
Oh.
Because Gale is such a whiny little bitch, poor excuse of a man that doesn't understand, or his little brain doesn't comprehend about a woman having different priorities other than him. Because, like, I don't know, she had to fight for her life. I don't know, she had to get, like, sponsors somehow. I don't know, she was literally chased to her death. Just saying.
By dogs.
Yeah.
Exactly, and people and stuff, and
literal fire.
Exactly, and she had literal like knives thrown at her face, and she had to carry this other kid with like a leg that it didn't happen in the movie, but it does happen in the books, that ends up losing part of his leg because of the bad injury. So, or by the way, like Peter was almost dying because of the injury. He was badly injured. If the person who's badly injured says to you, "I've always had a crush on you," dude, the dude is dying. Give him a kiss. Let him dive into
something before he goes.
Exactly, honestly. And him, instead of saying, well, he did what he, like, instead of understanding, or at least it's like, right now is not the time, she has like more important things to do and more important things to think about other than, does he like me like that? And honestly, she had been there next to him like her entire life, his entire fucking life, and he never, like, he kissed other girls. He was a little fuckboy in District 12, and no one gave a shit about it. No one gave two shits about it. And no, the second that a blonde boy that was a baker decides to say in national television, "Hey, I have a crush on the girl that I was sent here with," that's when he says, "Now is the perfect time to make my feelings known, and now is the perfect time to act like a distraught or cheated on boyfriend that never even happened."
Not to mention, it's not mentioned in the movie, but in the book, that in the Capitol, like for the sake of the show, Gale is like known all across the country as Katniss's cousin, because
exactly.
It wouldn't look good for the cameras if Katniss had a very attractive male friend back home. It wouldn't work well for the love story. So the crew pitched the idea like, okay, he's her cousin, and most people thought they were cousins anyway. So
although I'm surprised.
He always behaved before the kiss. He always behaved like the cousin.
Exactly. Like they acted more like family, and then Gale just decided to suddenly be like, nah. I guess he's thinking it's Alabama now.
Well, no,
big wheels.
It is interesting though. Like you say, like the writers thought like that because it's like, oh wait a minute, wouldn't like love triangles be like kind of a big thing for the Captain? Be like, ooh, like this is fascinating.
There were no cameras in 12. Who would you rather see? A little bitch sulking because the girl he likes is, or actual people fighting for their lives in literally a forest with like weapons? What will you rather watch?
I mean,
what is more like?
I mean, Love is Blind is very popular on Netflix.
Yeah, but Love is Blind and people in Love is Blind actually have reasons to like the other person other than that, oh, he likes her, she's mine because he likes her, now I like her too. What the
what the quack?
What the quack, man. And also the amount of emotional like manipulation that little bitch Gale does on poor Katniss. Oh my freaking god. She has nightmares. She literally had to kill people to get out of there. She's given prizes and money because she literally killed people. He's just like, oh, you're different since you came back. Of course she's different, you little nibwit.
It's the trauma.
Exactly. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna shut up about my hate.
So moving on from that, what do y'all think of our first proper conversation with President Snow at the beginning?
That was one of my favorite scenes in the whole freaking movie. I love that scene. I love their acting. Donald Sutherland and Jennifer Lawrence both together are just so freaking good together. I love their scenes. Oh, I love it. Anyways, yeah, that's just me.
Sarah, what do you have to say?
It's been a little while, so it's a little fuzzy for me, unfortunately, but I'm just gonna back Patrick's enthusiasm.
I appreciate it.
Good choice. That's the right answer.
God, no, but seriously, like just their interactions with each other, like like you could just feel like that tension like cut with a knife because you know that they hate each other, and it's just like you see it like in their eyes.
Do they? Alyson, what do you think? Do they
Oh,
actually?
dude!
I
Oh,
mean,
the plot twist?
I mean, Katniss obviously definitely hates him because he's in charge of the whole shit show that had forced her to do that.
Yeah.
But on Snow's end, I don't know. I think in some ways he weirdly respects her, but still hates her obviously because she's causing problems, and also is bringing up old feelings because he may or may not remind her of she may or may not remind him of someone from his past. Balance on the snakes.
I do think that he looks like this amusing cat that is like wreaking havoc.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, like Alyson, what is your take on Snow's and Katniss's relationship, and especially their exchange in that scene?
Again, it's so hard for me to properly explain because it's just so good.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there's almost that weird respect because Snow never quite talks down on her, like, oh, like a little like child or a girl doesn't know what she's or whatever, but he like almost talks to her as an equal, but he's still obviously very in charge because he has all the power as president of Panem, but yet she's still a threat, this girl who's supposed to not be a threat at all because she's from like the joke district.
I know, but it's like their conversation is like they're in their little club that only those two are a part of.
It's like
nobody else seems to know about the length and the extent of their conversations.
It's like it's almost like a twisted like teacher-student conversation.
Oh, that's yep.
Like mentor kind of thing.
You got it. Wow.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, I thought we had agreed never to lie to one another. It's like,
oh.
Yep.
And also, just like, it was like, now it's like, I want you to convince me. It was like,
oof.
And it was like, that is like slightly morbid and slightly twisted. And if Snow was like 40 years younger, then it would have been taken out of context. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And also, like, the very end of that scene where he's kind of like, listen, I think you have to be on your best behavior or else your boyfriend is going to be done for.
Yeah. And not to mention, because he doesn't say it in the movie, but in the book, he's like, your cousin who works in the mine. So easy for an accident to happen down there. So now you just have anxiety every time Gail goes to work.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to admit that Snow as a character, and also Donald Sutherland, who was the actor that portrayed him, did a great job because, he is like, Snow is not the typical villain of mwahaha.
Yeah, right.
We're seeing almost like a snake, a very calculative,
yes,
like manipulative person. And it's almost like it's like his last name, Snow. He's very cold, like no pun intended. He's cold and quite sharp, almost like, yes, it's like a snake with a prey. And he never lies, which is something that as a villain, usually it's like, oh, they usually go for like lies and like twisting the truth. He never does. So it makes him slightly a lovable villain, yet. At least to me, he's a lovable villain because, I mean, he never lies. He does what he says he's gonna do. So it's like, it's very easy to know where you stand with him.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, as a nemesis, it's like there's like mutual respect. And I like the fact that he doesn't underestimate Katniss because she's a young girl. So that, and the fact that everyone else treats her like a little girl and that doesn't know anything, and the only one who actually truly respects her for what she is and notices and knows that she is 1, a murderer, 2, a victor, 3, someone highly intelligent, and someone entirely reckless, for him to go like, fine, it's like, I see my equal, even though he's like 80 and she's like 18 by then, it's like, I applaud a feminist villain, a feminist.
I mean, we learn in Ballad he was essentially raised by women, so
exactly. So it's like, I mean, I know that he's the villain, but I mean, he's never truly like misogynistic or anything.
I know.
Oh,
he hates everyone equally, no matter their gender.
Exactly. And the lovely and I love the fact that he calls Gail your little boyfriend instead of, oh, you're his little girlfriend. I was like, no. It's like, he's your bitch, not the other way around.
It comes back to Gail.
Just saying.
Sarah, do you have anything to add? Because we're going crazy.
Sorry.
The feminization of PETA begins.
Oh, I was talking about Gail. Peter's not a bitch.
Well, no, I was gonna ask you that because, like, you say that Snow treats Katniss as his equal. I'm like, doesn't PETA in some capacity? I mean, aside from like the whole like evilness and everything.
Yeah, but usually villains don't treat their opponent as an equal. It's like, you are so small. I shall like squash you like a bug.
Yeah.
Snow isn't one of them. He's very concise and smart with threats.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to learn how to threat someone? Watch Snow. It's like threatening like threatening someone 101. Ooh. Never lie. And when people think you're lying, do exactly what you say you're gonna do, and they're just gonna go, oh.
Yeah. I just thought of a good comparison to Snow and Katniss's relationship. I'm thinking specifically in Infinity War of Thanos and how he kind of respects Tony Stark and
Yes.
Like, especially like toward Wanda, like the way after spoiler alert for Infinity War, but everyone knows at this point, I feel like
what?
Patrick, like when Wanda has to kill her own boyfriend. Whoops. And then Thanos weirdly respects her after that because he basically did the same thing to his daughter.
He's like, I understand, my child.
Yeah, he's like, I understand. Like, gives her like almost an affectionate pat on the head.
And then he decides to turn time and then just kill him again. It's like, anyways, that's another.
Why Wanda snapped? Anyway, we're gonna just move. We're not talking about Marvel. This isn't a Marvel.
Like, we're going back to the Hunger Games. We're going back to our lovely little puffy Snow.
We're going back to.
I mean,
we're going back to happy
in that scene. I said it is snowing outside in that scene.
Exactly. The fact that he's so at home in her house.
Yeah.
That is like an extra kind of like, it's like, oh, quack. Like, he knows the layout of the house. Oof. And it's like, it's a power move that it's like, he's omnipotent.
Mm-hmm.
He knows, he sees it, he knows it all. It's like, oh, quack, I'm really.
And in the book, there's even this line, and of course my book's upstairs and I'm too lazy to go get it, but where Katniss says like she's made to feel like the intruder in her own home, the way like Snow carries himself in the room. And plus the room that they're in, the study, is where like a room they use every day. It's where Prim does her homework. It's where their mom balances the books and whatnot.
Such a power move, because it's like the director of the school coming back to see how everything's doing.
Ugh.
Like the real owner.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn.
Like if Patrick would have been like when we were at school, if President Sanchez had come to our dorm for some reason.
Oh, jeez.
Hello.
Except President Sanchez is nice.
Yeah.
He's nice. And also, I mean, Donald Sutherland, they picked the nicest looking old man for Snow. So I was like, you look like a puffball.
You're
supposed to be mean.
That's fascinating because he terrifies the crap out of me. Like,
I think that he looks like such a nice.
I mean, Donald Sutherland. Respect. I love you, man. He is amazing. He's also just like that stare is like it could kill me.
I hope they filmed his post-credit scene for Ballad.
I know. Like you think that he's like so like he terrifies you, and I on the other hand I think that he has the warmest, kindest, most lovable like energy ever. And him as Snow, I'm like, which it makes me unable to really hate Snow because it's like he never lies. He is a very truthful person. He does exactly what he promises to do, murder people, but he never lies. That's a lot more than other of the men in the series have done.
Yeah. I even kind of adore the scenes he has with his granddaughter in the movie.
Oh, I know, yeah.
She never appears in the books, by the way. She's just mentioned at the end of Mockingjay in the book, so it was really cool to get a couple glimpses of her for the movies.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah.
It kind of humanizes Snow a little bit more because it's like, oh, Snow has a family. Ugh.
Or no, not even human. It's like Snow has a family. A man like that.
I mean, you'll get to
has descendants. Yeah, it's like he has descendants.
I hope his granddaughter can break the cycle.
Oh no, he dies. She dies, right? She gets murdered.
She doesn't.
Right? No,
I don't think
so. Doesn't she get put with the last Hunger Games?
No, that never happens though because because Paler never would have let that happen because she's the one who ends up becoming elected as president. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. But and Paler is severely underrated too. But anyway, we'll talk about it when we're in Mockingjay.
Guys, be honest. Do the capital people, guard. Does it remind you of the stormtroopers from Star Wars?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Which make me slightly not be able to take them seriously. Slightly, I'm just like.
Although that one guard who flogs Gale during that scene,
Commander Thread.
Yeah, he's very intimidating, and I don't know if that's the same type of people, but yeah, he was whoa.
Yeah, that actor, man, he got so little screen time, but dang, did he!
Yeah, he delivered. Yeah.
Romulus Thread, right? The new one. Yeah. Patrick Stan Esprit, the actor.
Hey, he has a cool name.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the only thing that I really liked about the first part is how much we see Haymitch, my lovely Haymitch, my character.
And you just get multiple scenes of him and Effie acting like divorced parents. It's great. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
Divorced parents are never that civil.
What'd you say, Sarah?
Divorced parents are never that civil. I would know.
Well, anyway, speaking of getting to spend more time with Haymitch, so after everything with Snow, we get into the victory tour. How did you guys feel being able to get a glimpse of all the different districts, specifically District 11?
Oh no, that scene was brutal. It was tough to watch because it's she goes back to the district where her one true ally was killed in the games, and she sees the mother of Rue just controlling her weeping gesture, and it's just oh my god, it's so much to take in. And then the guy doing the Mockingjay was do do do. I can't whistle.
No, that is what killed me.
Yeah.
Because he was an offensive and defenseless old man.
Yeah.
Which also makes us kind of like his death, even though it was quite tragic, it was quite honorable. because he stood for what he believed in. Yeah. And he knew what was the price to pay. Mm-hmm. And he paid it because it was the only thing he owned, his own life, which is, oddly enough, that's why I admire the people like the Pan Am and a lot of the districts, because, and the actors that portray them, because it does show, especially in the movie, how they have nothing to their name but their own life. Mm-hmm. And they're willing to put that to exchange that for the dream of freedom. And that is hella inspiring and hella tragic. And honestly, when Katniss is like just dragged away, I'm just like, dude, you're a victor. You know how to fight. Just like knee them in the balls and like break their nose. It's like, you know how to fight? It's like, do something. And it also does remind, I don't know what like Allie and Sarah and you, Patrick, felt, but it really did it did kind of open the audience's eyes to see that anything that might have happened in the arena is just a speck in what's really happening in the rest of the districts. Mm-hmm. And even though yes, the arena is quite, at least some sort of like glamorized murder, Katniss, it really showed her that she was indeed playing a child's game. Mm-hmm. And that her child's game and her her refusal to die and her like rebelliousness was what caused other people to say no more, which was, at least to me, quite inspiring. Mm-hmm. Please, guys, just like, what are your takes on not only the tour but the amazing and gorgeous fashion of the train and Effie and everyone? And
all right, time. It's Effie trinket hour, I guess. Sarah.
I didn't have enough time to mentally prepare myself. Oh, God. I was absorbing the question, starting process.
What? It's like we're on the clock and we're just waiting for it to turn 12.
What do you guys think of the character of Effie, especially in the second one?
I feel like she was given way more depth this time around, because like the first movie, she was just kind of like almost like a comic relief type of character, whereas like the second one, we really get to see her almost a little bit humanized. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in Mockingjay, like that's where we really see her at her most.
Oh yeah, by the way, she's not in Mockingjay. Different character kind of plays her role, but Suzanne Collins loved Elizabeth Banks as Effie so much. She was like, "Yeah, we're gonna."
It's like keep her, yeah.
So Effie can be. We'll talk about that when we're in Mockingjay.
Yeah, but no, like she did. Elizabeth Banks did a wonderful job with humanizing that character, while also still keeping that sense of comedy that we grow to love from it.
Because she was slightly, like, almost sort of manic, didn't you guys think?
Yeah. No, I see it. Yeah.
That is mahogany.
Yeah.
It's like really, you're okay. But also it's like it was quite a nice balance, and it showcases how some people react and some people cope with things, because Haymitch was drink in sarcasm and irony and just pure, like, I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for Haymitch. Great. And Bazass. Yeah. I mean, like he said, it's like, I'm gonna be a bum, and he was a bum. It was great.
It's true to his word.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things Haymitch ever says is like after the quell gets announced, Katniss comes in and he's like, "Oh, hey, what you doing here? You asking me to die?" And she's like, "I'm here for a drink." And he's like, "Finally, something I can help you with."
Exactly. It's like, whoop. Yeah. Also, poor Haymitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not poor. I mean, what is a big ask? It's like, what is a big favor? Because that was a favor. It's like, what is a big favor? What is a big enough favor?
Yeah. Also, it's kind of like going back to Effie. Her like especially Elizabeth Banks, her performance during like the reaping scene where she has to read Katniss's name and just her reaction to reading Haymitch's name, just that whole scene is incredible. She is the star of that scene. I don't care what anyone says.
It's great.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, what are your thoughts? Have you had time to process?
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah.
So I really love all of the imagery that we get of the district, and I love seeing all that Effie is capable of. Because, like, our girl's a master at what she does, while also being a manic ball of chaos.
Yeah.
With great shoes.
Yes. And I love Patrick's comments about her as well. Patrick really, I feel like we're on a very similar wavelength today.
I think so too. It's pretty cool.
We're vibing.
And during that reaping scene, Effie's very fittingly wearing like that monarch butterfly outfit because she's, emerging. She's becoming a new person.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow. It didn't hit me until you mentioned it. I was like, wow.
She thinks of everything.
Oh.
And also,
it's only because I've seen these movies so many freaking times.
Have you?
Yes.
Really? I never would have thought.
Yeah. But also, I genuinely think that Effie's and Haymitch's relationship is one of the purest in the book and in the movie as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's even better when you remember that Woody Harrelson confessed he had a crush on Elizabeth Banks while making these movies.
Oh, I didn't.
That is gorgeous. I mean, people can say like otherwise, but I keep saying Woody Harrelson did a great job with Haymitch and made an obscure character in the book and like an asshole in the book seem so relatable and so nice and like almost like he was protective and he was like slightly mentor / like father figure in a sense to both Katniss and Peeta.
Yeah, because Peeta's family sucks.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, like because Peeta's grown up in an abusive household his whole life, so for him, Haymitch is a walk in the park.
The poor Peeta saying, "Yeah, my mom said that we like after the reaping, that District 12 finally had a victor, and she wasn't talking about me."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was horrible.
Dang.
He was happy. Not like Mrs. Millark. We do not stand her in this house.
Literally, because he was like, "Oh, my mom's very, very happy and very excited that District 12 finally has a victor, and she wasn't talking about me." That line was like in the book and in the movie was like, "Oh, damn.
Dang.
Poor guy.
Kid needs therapy. They all need therapy.
They all need therapy." And didn't Haymitch win like the games when he was like 14 or something?
No, that was Finnick. Haymitch won when he was like 16, 17, around that age. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, a child. Diapers.
Yeah, but speaking of Haymitch, because the movie doesn't really give us his backstory, Gabby, shall we tell the movie viewers what we learn about his backstory in the book?
Oh.
Yes, please do.
All right, so story time, children.
Yes.
A gorgeous person called Haymitch.
Yep, so on the train ride to the Capitol, because another thing that was cut from the hitting my elbow against things, it's fine. Another thing that was cut from the movies is that during the time, because there was like a 3-month space between the Quarter Quell announcement and the reaping. So during those months, Katniss, Haymitch, and Peeta actually trained. Like they did like physical exercises, they practiced some survival skills, that type of thing. They basically acted like careers, and they watched tapes of previous games so they could study their potential competitors.
And Haymitch went through withdrawal because he stopped drinking.
Oh yeah, because Peeta dumped out all of Haymitch's alcohol. What
a good son.
Yeah, what a good son. Being like, "Dad, you're gonna get sober whether you like it or not." But on the train ride to the Capitol, Katniss and Peeta can't sleep, so and because they don't have the tape for the 25th games, which was the first quarter quell, which by the way, the twist on that quarter quell was all the districts had to hold an election of who the tributes were going to be. So think about it. All the adults in the community had to vote on which 2 children were going to go to the games.
That's like America.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh. True, but
Just gonna by the way, we did learn this in Ballad. This is like a minor detail, but the reaping happens on July 4th.
Well, no, it is like America.
Almost as if Panem is like hundreds of years in the future in the country that used to be known as North America. Who knew?
What are the odds?
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? Anyway, so
Mexican.
Anyway, just the chaos continues. It's fine. All right, so the twist for Haymitch's games, the 50th game. So Katniss and Peeta watch that because they don't have the tape for the 25th game since that Victor had like previously passed away or whatever. So they watch Haymitch's games, and for that one, the twist was they send double the amount of tributes. So Haymitch was like one of 48. Yeah, I can do basic math. So Haymitch goes into the games with twice the amount of competitors. He ends up allying with one of his district partners, Maisily Donner, who was best friends with Mrs. Everdeen, so Katniss's mother. That was Katniss's mother's best friend. And Maisily's twin sister was Madge's mother, so Katniss's current best friend is the niece of her mother's best friend. And Maisily was also the original owner of the Mockingjay pin that Madge gives Katniss. So,
and then in the first one, she's like, "Oh yeah, it's a Mockingjay pin. You keep it."
Yeah, just picks it up out of a bin. Huh, this is nice. But anyway, so Haymitch and Maisily ally, and they become friends. They become close, and then when it's down to the top 5, Maisily breaks off the alliance because it's like, I don't want it to come down to you and me. And at this point, they were at the edge of the arena because Haymitch was curious of what was at the edge, and they come to a cliff that's the edge. And when Maisily walks away, Haymitch drops a stone down, and the rock comes back, and it's like, oh, there's the force field. And then shortly after that, Haymitch hears Maisily screaming, and the alliance was broken. He didn't have to go help her, but he does run back to help her, but he's too late. She's already dying because some mutant like bird stabbed her in the throat. So he holds her while she dies in a similar way that Katniss holds Rue while she died. And then it comes down to Haymitch and one of the girls from District 1, and it's a very bloody fight where Haymitch, she ends up cutting Haymitch's stomach, and he's running away from her, literally holding his intestines in. It's gross.
Ugh.
He runs to the cliff at the edge of the arena. The girl, she's also injured. She's missing an eye. Both of them are in bad shape. She throws her last weapon, which is an axe, at him. He ducks, goes over the cliff. She doesn't know about the force field, so she thinks, okay, I can just outlast this guy. Plot twist, Haymitch ducks, axe comes back, buries into her skull, Haymitch wins. But the thing is, he used the force field as a weapon, and it's not meant to be used as a weapon, so it kind of made the Capitol look dumb. So Snow wasn't very happy with him. Let's just say Haymitch's loved ones did not live very long after that.
Why do you think he constantly drinks?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Wow.
So yeah, that's the depth of Haymitch's trauma.
Wow.
If you don't get the movie.
And you have to love the fact that he asked to be exiled. Okay, that's like spoilers. But he asked to be exiled along with Peeta and Katniss. And he's like Grandpa Haymitch. And he watches over their kids.
I know. But we'll get there when we get there. Still there, Sarah?
Still here.
Okay, just making sure we didn't lose you. What'd you think of that tragic backstory?
He drinks to forget because he has a lot of forgetting to do.
Yeah.
Also, some of the shock factor was taken from me because I've heard you tell me that multiple times.
All right.
Yeah, also we have to give Haymitch another kind of round of applause or round of oh god, poor dude, because all of his friends that were also victors that Katniss didn't pick were the ones that died.
I know. like Chap from District 11, who also kissed Katniss, so gross, was his buddy, and then he died. Like, whoopsie daisies.
I raised my ginger ale to Hamish.
I mean, I understand. Like,
Sarah. Sorry.
I mean, the kiss was that was bad. However, they're all dead men walking. They're all dead. Well, not dead, except one technically, but still. Let the old man just be creepy for like the last 48 hours he has alive. I mean don't let him go crazy. Just I don't know, like put him in a room and just like lock him for 48 hours until like release him onto the arena. He's gonna be fine. Who else noticed that Haymitch, even though he constantly said that Katniss was annoying, he actually enjoyed her like her crankiness and like bitterness?
It's because he has a similar level of crankiness.
I mean, his excuse is that he's hungover. What's hers?
He's just a proud dad. She's miserable like me. Woo!
Misery loves kids took after me.
Exactly. Oh, who else in the second movie just loathes Katniss's mother?
I mean, she wasn't the worst.
Wait, what happened with her mother again? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, the mom just doesn't really do anything, so that's the problem.
Maybe that's it. I'm just like, okay.
If your eldest child...
I feel like that's kind of her character, just not doing much of anything.
I mean, but at the same time, like, what kind of mother is she? Her eldest child went to an arena to die, didn't, came back. It's like, dude, it's like the perfect excuse for you to like put on mom hat again and say, hey, promise, you didn't die. It's our second chance to really get to know one another. But she doesn't. She concentrates on Prim.
Well, in Mrs. Everdene's defense, not for the movie, but in the book, she does do more to support Katniss. Like she does give a little more emotional support, or she does reach out more. It's just Katniss, understandably, has put a wall between herself and her mother, and very rarely accepts the help.
Still, it's
I know.
Your child. You birthed the child into the world.
Katniss has every right to act that way.
Still, you keep trying. She never did. And once Prim is dead, she's like, oh, bye. Dude, what the? Sorry. My hatred towards like Gale and like
it all comes back to Gale.
Before we go back to hating Gale,
not the actor, lovely Hemsworth.
We're always talking about the character.
Speaking of which, is gonna be the new Witcher. Now replace Henry Cavill. Yeah, apparently.
I've never seen that.
Because Henry Cavill is going to be Superman again.
No, sorry.
And he's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and Enola Holmes. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, what were we saying? So speaking of Gale, what do you guys think of that scene after Katniss gets back from the victory tour and the conversation she and Gale were having in the woods? Oh, Gabby.
She's like.
Gabby has things to say.
Sorry, sorry. This is a quick commercial. Sorry.
Commercial break.
I didn't believe you. Henry Cavill says goodbye to the Witcher, and Liam Hemsworth's gonna be the new Geralt of Rivia. No. Henry Cavill looked exactly like the thing in the video game. I'm crying. This is not okay.
You want to hate on Gale some more to feel better?
Yes, please.
Hey, go ahead. Go rant about Gale in that scene. He and Katniss talk after she gets back. Claire.
It's like, Gale, I'm out for blood.
That I'm sorry, he's just whiny. I'm just like I get that he has a family and he worries for them and blah blah blah, but it's like I should have run with you. Dude! Yes, you should have. You didn't. Why not? Because you were scared. And because life. So literally, I don't know, I don't like him.
What, you don't? Really?
Oh,
He does have redeeming qualities, like his going for him, which is his love for his family and the fact that he's loyal and stuff. But he doesn't own up to what he does, and he doesn't think beyond his own suffering or his own entitlement. And he always is like, he does something, it's like, oh no, not my fault, and he throws the hot potato to someone else.
Does he throw it to PETA?
Literally, the hot potato is like, instead of him as a cousin, he could have said like, no, I protect my cousin. He never did. He was just sulking in the corner, and I was like, dude, okay, dude, I get it. To the whole pandemic, you're the cousin, fine, but you can later on be like, no, I'm not exactly a cousin. I love her and I'm going to fight for her. That would have been great TV for Panem. Great one. Who wants a reality TV show? Panem. They wanted a TV show. It would have been like, where it's like, I'm not actually the cousin. I love her. It would have been the greatest.
I mean, if Snow wanted Katniss and PETA to distract everyone from the real problems, there you go.
Exactly. But no, actually no. I mean, PETA's cute, PETA's fluffy. Gale is a poor excuse of a man who would have said, but I'm not the main lead.
Like, what do you mean I'm not the main character?
Exactly. Literally, that's him the entire time with Katniss. What do you mean that why you didn't tell me doesn't matter? It's like, dude, she never said yes to being your girlfriend. She never said yes to you kissing her. She never said yes, I like you. And she was right there for years. And he never said, she could be a nice person. He never did. So I don't want to hear like zip from him. He was like zip.
Gabby's like, shut up. You don't get to speak now.
Exactly. And plus,
it's like, this is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do.
Exactly. Like, I want you to shut up.
Yeah. Sarah, anything to add in that scene?
So, I think it's perfectly summed up by the fact that when Gabby did her because, trying to think of what to call him, I was waiting for her to call him a little bitch again. Because that is how I feel about this man every time I see his face.
Literally, it's like, and he always looks so scorned, right, Sarah?
Yes. Like,
it's like, woe is me.
Literally, like, woe is me.
He's a baby boy.
Yes. He's a baby boy.
No one suffered more than me. Katniss, who went through literal death arena.
He and Edward Cullen should have a face-off for who has the worst life.
Whoa.
Literally. Oh, and no one actually in 12 thought that Katniss was hot. And then all the girls were like
killing people.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, once you start killing, I mean, the only one that actually thought that she was hot, even with pigtails and like braids, was like PETA.
Mm-hmm.
Since they were in elementary school, and that's the cutest. And Gale, who was like literally right like beside her, was like, "Oh no, grab the dead bird. We're gonna go sell it." What the?
We're gonna go make some money today, guys.
He was acting like a pimp. Sorry.
Okay, but Patrick's ungodly screech. It's a miracle my mom is still sleeping in the next room.
It just came out of nowhere that he's just a pimp.
Okay,
sorry, not exactly a pimp, but like a pimp with animals. She was actually like hunting the whole thing. He was doing everything. And he was like, no, I'll do it. Dude, he was just the middleman. You know, the one that like negotiates the prices? He was a pimp without anything sexual but sex.
Yeah. He really didn't like being the girl left back home.
Exactly. He acted more as a boyfriend to Prim than Katniss.
Oh,
I don't think
no.
I know, and that's messed up. And I said what I should. Because he never did anything nice for Katniss. Well, at the beginning of like the first Hunger Games movies, he gave her half a loaf of bread. Wow.
Yeah, that compensates for everything.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, he was like, I did so much for you. He gave her half a loaf of bread. What does Peeta do? What does Peeta do? Pretty much risks his life, takes like a literal like sword to the leg, loses his leg, pretty much joins like the bad side of like the tributes, like to pretty much protect her and make sure that no one else like is after her and stuff. And he's like, but I gave you half a loaf of bread.
I saw Les Miserables.
Well, guess what, Gale? Before you and Katniss really became friends, Peeta gave her 2 full loaf of bread, and he took a beating for it.
Exactly. What did you think, you little bitch?
He's like, yeah, they were burned, but it was free.
Exactly. And he's like, oh, woe is me. I got a few lashes. And Peeta back there just without a leg.
I got bro, I lost a leg.
Exactly. It's like, oh, woe is you. Like him with a couple lashes and Peeta without a leg. Peeta saying, woe is you, my friend.
And oh, by the way, okay, in that conversation, I guess one thing I will say in Gale's favor, whatever, the look Gabby just gave me. I'm so sorry.
I mean, the actor for Gale, he's tall and handsome and great, and like the actor's Australian, so that adds a little bit of.
But I don't know. What do you think of what he said about how like to Katniss, because Katniss is saying, I want to run, I want to get out of here, but Gale's argument is like, no, you give them an opportunity, we should fight.
Says a person that has never left 12 and has never actually been in an actual war nor had anyone like to like try to kill him. Yes, let's fight.
I mean, he can run away, or you know.
I mean, he does have, and I mean, he kind of has a point, just because it's like, yeah, we should end all this widespread oppression, but.
Yes, however, does he say it because he actually has conviction, or he just wants to play hero?
True.
Ooh.
He's almost like a critique.
Here was a riddle.
He's almost like a critique of like the action hero revolution trope guy thing.
Yes, that runs and runs after the first gunshot is actually pulled or fired. That little bitch.
Yeah, you and I'm excited to do when we're going through Mockingjay. Keep a tally of all the war crimes that are committed.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Like starting by all the ones that Gale started.
I know. Now his war crimes are going to count toward like District 13 side. So, but anyway, Sarah, you want to attempt to say anything positive about Gale in that scene?
Sorry, friends. People were entering my home, and I was handed a cupcake. I have a cupcake now.
Even better.
Like, I heard him coming up the stairs, and I was like, oh no, he's home. Mute the chat. Mute yourself.
And cupcake.
Oh my god, it has an Oreo in it. This is an extra win, guys.
Oh.
What a cupcake.
Gale is just... There's nothing positive in my heart for Gale.
Fair enough.
There's nothing there.
Should I put a content warning at the beginning of the episode? Warning, anyone who loves Gale should run. You will be triggered listening to this episode.
I mean, okay, Okay, there's a lot of things that Gale has going for him, which is his apparent hotness. Fine. Fine. Apparent hotness. Okay. The fact that he is hardworking. Okay. The fact that he's family oriented. Okay. The fact that okay, he does or has inclination towards to what's right and what's fair. Okay, fine. Okay, the fact that he did take care of like Katniss's family when she was gone. I'll give him a wood for that. Wood. Okay. Wood. Okay. What else? That's where it ends because all the rest of it's just him moping.
Doesn't he have musical ability?
No.
Oh, okay. Then
Not even that.
Yeah, no, that's just Katniss and her father. She takes after her father with her musical abilities.
And all like Gale was doing was kissing everyone here. It's like kiss here, kiss there.
He was a heartthrob in District 12.
Yay! I mean, who do you want to kiss? The guy that has kissed at least 50 girls, or the guy that has had a crush on you since you were 5?
Yeah, I'll go with the
when you put it that way.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
Yeah, when I put it that way, yes, because and
How's
also
the cupcake, Sarah.
Huh?
How's the cupcake?
It was very good. Also, my
okay.
cat is crying if you hear him.
Your cat's crying?
Yes, he wanted to go outside.
Oh, poor baby.
Oh, baby.
I was halfway to let him out, and then my mom's boyfriend did it for me, so it works.
Thank you, Sarah's mom's boyfriend.
But going back to Gale, he is a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
As a friend, he's decent as a friend. Yeah, he's a good friend.
He does the
Sort
best.
of.
He took lashings.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, to save an old woman.
Oh, okay. Has a soft spot for old women. Okay. He does have redeeming qualities. But what I really don't like is his want to be the main character slash the hero slash the thing, and it's like, dude, you've not done anything, and he generally believes that everything revolves around him and doesn't give Katniss space to breathe. That's what I don't like about him. And toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
Oh, now he likes her. Now I like her. What the? Can we talk about Gorgeous Pita?
Who?
Tita.
Yes.
He went all the way to say that he had fathered a child to try to spare her.
I know.
And my question is, if they had spared her, how the quack would have she gotten pregnant?
I mean,
think about it. If they would have spared her because she was pregnant, how would have she gotten pregnant? Please don't say Gale. Please don't say Gale.
Oh, before we completely move on from Gale, for the better. I think we forgot to talk about this last time, Gabby. But what are your thoughts on, because the Catching Fire book specifically sparked the Gale and Madge ship? What's your opinion on that?
Madge okay, that would be great because Madge wanted someone to save her. She would have loved the hero slash of Gale.
I like, as much as I want to say Madge deserves better, I don't know, she might have balanced him out the way Peeta helped balance Katniss out a bit, because Katniss and Gale are pretty similar. That's why they don't work.
Exactly.
And Katniss does get along with Madge really well.
But at the same time, Madge deserves better.
Yeah.
A shit ton better.
Yeah.
And Gale, I am so sorry, but I hope he ends up like old and alone.
With the cat?
No, the cat deserves better.
Exactly. The cat deserves better.
I mean, before Mockingjay, Madge and him, they could have worked. because he hadn't done what he did later on. So he still had redeeming qualities. So they would have very much worked, and they would have been a lovely couple. Slightly weird that he had a thing for their friend before he got with you. However, yeah, no, I think being around Madge, he would have gotten a lot less stupid and a lot more. He would have learned how to listen, and he would have learned a lot of things. So I was a big shipper. But then, Madge wasn't in the movie, and in the movie, he's just moping in the background.
And plus in the book, she doesn't survive the bombing, which I'm so mad about.
So why did the movies cut out Madge as a character?
To save
because it's an extra paycheck.
And one less actor to pay.
It's an extra paycheck that is just like the nice best friend. And if you're making a movie in which is like Gladiator, slightly, you don't want the best friend, the fluffy best friend. No. You want to see the gore and the drama.
Okay. All right. So yeah, what did you guys? Yeah, let's focus on Peeta a little bit more in this part leading up to the Quell, because he deserves it.
Yeah. Peeta is the guy that everyone should aspire to be.
Yeah, and I like how because Peeta was also being mopey at the beginning, but he apologized and held himself accountable. We love to see it.
Also, and he lost the leg.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I mean, who wouldn't have actually moped at least a bit after losing a leg?
Yeah, and plus he didn't understand fully that Katniss was acting for a majority of the time in the arena. He thought it was real for most of it.
Exactly. So it's like my poor boy got played. He got a kiss. So I mean.
And then he moped, but he took some time. He thought, and he's like, "Yep, I shouldn't have held you to the things you said in the arena. Sorry, Katniss."
And he really wanted her to be happy, even if that meant she wasn't with him. Mm-hmm. That's a king. That's a great blonde king. Mm-hmm. And in the movie, he's a great who loves a short king. I love a short king.
Human decency, Gale could never.
I know. Human decency, what's that?
Exactly. And okay. We have to talk about. Okay, it's like. Okay, we have to. Okay. Give me a second, because I wrote things. Okay, we have to talk about the absolute kind of stars of the going, the building up to the Court of Quill. We have to talk about Stanley Tucci as Caesar Flickerman.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about, Lenny Kravitz as Cinna. We have to talk about Toby Jones as Claudius Temple. And we have to talk about the man of the hour. Where's his name? We have to talk about the man of the hour. We have to talk about Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is Plutarch.
Yes.
We haven't even brought up Plutarch. What was wrong with us?
Wow.
Rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman. My God, I remember shortly after when Catching Fire came out and his death was announced, I was shooketh.
Yeah.
He died?
You just found out about that?
Yeah, this was 10 years ago.
Why?
Oh.
Yeah, he died while they were filming Mockingjay. So yeah, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 was the last movie he ever made.
That's why he's not in Mockingjay 2?
No, he is. Just glimpses of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had died. Oh God.
We broke Gaby. We broke her.
This is all Gail's fault.
Yeah.
Always. I'm glad you understand.
Oh no, the table. It's broken. That's me.
Also, let's just get this out of the way too. The actress who played Mags is also, no longer with us.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say, speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman, this is kind of a tangent type of thing, but if you guys have never seen Capote, go see it.
Oh, I did. It was a fantastic movie.
Capote's fantastic. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is just what a guy.
Yeah, but
okay, sorry. It's like commercial, please. Cut for commercial.
Just hold music while Gabby.
Cooper Hoffman, which was the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman, was nominated for the Golden Globes in 2022. Aww. And his dad wasn't there to see it.
Oh, was that for Licorice Pizza?
I don't know. I never had. I didn't know that guy existed.
No, I think it is. I think that's him. I think that's the guy. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about like Plutarch's introduction to us, because he's introduced to us at the party at the end of the victory tour when he has his dance with Katniss. What were your guys' first impressions of him, specifically movie watchers?
Aside from Philip Seymour Hoffman being like the best actor that he was, like the best scene, yeah. I loved the mystery behind his character, because like you didn't really, because obviously you knew that he was like working for President Snow, but you also were kind of like, he's kind of, he can kind of go in another direction that we aren't expecting. You never really know with Plutarch, which is really interesting. Especially that's how I felt with like the introduction, when they were dancing with each other, which is nice.
Yeah. Initial thoughts: who the quack is this creepy guy?
Yeah, who's this old creepy older man who wants to dance with Katniss?
I mean, he looked creepy, right, Sarah?
It's honestly, it's not coming back to me. I just glazed right over. And I'm sitting here just looking around. I'm like, come on, anything in my memory? Hello?
Come on, brain. Think of things. Come on, brain.
Wait.
Be so smart. Come on, brain. Think of things. Come on, brain.
Wait, what is that from again? I'm trying to remember.
Lin-Manuel Miranda on Vine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Where he's laying in the grass fields going, come on, brain.
Shout out.
Actually, he was in the same audience when I saw Into the Woods.
Really?
That's crazy.
No.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Here we go, Gabby. Gabby with the hookups for me.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go like
that. I gotta fast forward. But I just love an exchange. Chins up, smiles on. I'm talking to you, Katniss.
That sounds like my mother.
Kita's doing the tango.
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, that reminds me of his performance in Doubt as well. Like he's hello, little sir.
Plug was like,
so, during this last rewatch, all I could hear in my brain while I was watching was all my unhinged commentary I made for the transcript for our read-through, guys. Oh god, I should dig that out because I made some very unhinged commentary while I was typing up that transcript.
Oh my god.
Hello, creepy man. Hello. Who are you? Why are you here?
Seneca decided to quit breathing.
Decided.
It's that or poison berries.
Oh wow, I thought this was the movie. Wait, this is a bad lip reading.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I'm like, that's not Jennifer Lawrence's voice.
No, I don't know why, but it's the only one that I can find. But I was like, it's legit the dialogue, so it works, people. It's the. Here's like.
So yeah,
he
Sarah.
was a weird fan, just like. It's like it was either that or blueberries. It's like it was either that or stop breathing.
Yeah. Well, what were your thoughts? So impressions on Plutarch, Sarah?
I was letting Gabby go with the point there. So it's like Patrick was saying, it's interesting that there's this kind of air of mystery with him, even though you know that he's working with President Snow. So you don't totally know what to expect from him.
Yeah, because that's my group chat going crazy because I'm going to a Celtics game tomorrow. Woo!
Nice.
Go Celtics.
Yeah, we did a little in-office contest, and a group of us are being taken to a Celtics game for free by our boss. So woohoo!
That is good. Everything tastes better when it's free.
Exactly. But anyway, we are
work giving me free steak yesterday. Steak better when it's free.
Yeah, giving you a free Amazon gift card.
Oh, see, I think that's a big mistake.
The only thing that my job gives me after free is the flu.
Hmm?
The only thing, like the only free thing that my job gives me is the flu.
Oh, that's not a pizza party?
They've tried to give me COVID a couple times. I've dodged the bullet like 3 times in the past 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like, okay, going back to Plutarch.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, like you guys were saying, he does have an air of mystery, and then like after that scene, the next time you see him is when he's having dinner with Snow, and it's like, oh yeah, total bad guy, because then he's just so quick, like talking about like, okay, yeah, we're gonna manipulate everything to make the people think Katniss is one of us, so they'll hate her, blah blah blah, and you're like, oh fuck this guy.
But at the same time, it's oddly like friendly.
Yeah.
But friendly.
He is oddly friendly. Bless you.
Thank
you.
You.
Something to add, Sarah?
I didn't fully hear you. Sorry.
I was saying, do you have something to add? Looked like you had something to say.
No, I was looking down the hallway because since he's home, he's tried to say hi to you guys twice. And I've just been muted each time.
Wherever you are.
He's there, the phantom of the Zoom call.
And I have an angry cat. Come on, angry cat. Here you go.
Insolent boy, the slave of fashion.
But
great, now I'm gonna be humming that again all night. Okay, moving on.
Okay, we do have to appreciate how, even though Plutarch is from the capital, I believe, he is a very like low-key capital person. He doesn't look like too like outrageous. He looks like a normal person.
Like Cinna.
Exactly. Like a normal, like an entirely normal person, which I do enjoy a lot. And also the fact that he is oddly like the mastermind and insanely creepy, but he looks like a normal person. So it's like, why is a normal person giving off like insanely creepy when there's people in the background with like cat whiskers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, oh, you gotta leave, Patrick?
Yeah, in about 5 minutes.
Okay. All right then. So
I'm sorry, I have to leave.
Yeah. Well, what do you have that's so important? How dare you?
Comic-Con.
Yeah, fine. But yeah. So, any final thoughts you want to share, Patrick? Because we are going.
Well, like I said, I mean, I'm glad we talked mostly about the first time because that was like my favorite part of Catching Fire, and you know, I think the second half would probably just be me talking about like, yeah, it's the games, you know, it was condensed for the movie from the book, so it's kind of just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the film. I think it absolutely, you know, I will say, I really remember the first time I saw it, I was very cheesed off by the ending because, like, the way that it ended, it was like on a cliffhanger. I was like, why does it have to always be on cliffhangers? I'm tired of these movies. And then when I saw it was leading to, I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand.
Let's just say when I read the book, I was very happy. I was given the box set with the whole series, so I could immediately jump into the next book.
Yeah, no, but it was.
And I guess final question before you go: who is your favorite new character that was introduced?
You know, strangely enough, I think Finnick is a really good character because, like, he has.
All of us just react.
No, like the interesting thing about Finnick is that, you know, obviously, of course, he has like an arrogance to him, but at the same time, there is just a level of depth where it's just like, oh no, he also cares for Max. He also does have like a caring position, and he is like, you know, he's hiding his cowardice through that arrogance and stuff, which is fascinating. So. Anyways.
You can admit it. Everyone is in love with Finnick.
No, but I will say, no, this has been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you guys, talking about the film. I really am excited to see if Mockingjay can be talked about further.
We're gonna have a lot to say about that.
I hope there'll be more a talk about Gale and everything about that.
Yeah, and thank you again for coming on, and don't forget to plug yourself.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do one-on-one lessons for Connolly's characters. So if you need any acting and singing lessons, just message me on Instagram at Connolly act.createinspiresing. Or you can just follow me on my Instagram page, Patrick Connolly. We can set up a lesson. Yeah. And then I normally do workshops too. So it's pretty cool. So.
Link in the show notes.
Oh, yes. I will send you something.
Yeah. I know how to find your page on Instagram. I know.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Yeah.
But anyway, thank you again for coming.
Oh my gosh.
This might just be the end of part 1, if I'll be honest. This will make it a lot easier on Alyson editing. So thank you for joining us, Patrick, and Gabby, Sarah. We will continue part 2 discussion in a minute. So bye.
Yes. Take care. Have fun with part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Hello, everyone. This is Alyson editing. Like I said, this is the end of part 1. Next week, we'll pick up right where we left off with part 2. I will, of course, link everyone's social media handles in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening. Hope you all have a great day/night, and talk to you next time. Bye!